Okay, so back onto the wrestling side of things. Wow. Can you believe that this is life right now? That
Can't.
things have gone the way that they have. I mean, when I was like, I always kind of keep like my finger on the pulse of what's going on in professional wrestling. I was like, wait, Kyle O'Reilly's contract is just coming up. Johnny Gargano's contract is just up. Adam Cole, like it's wild.
I know.
What happened? How did this happen?
It beats me. I mean, when we were renegotiating, the powers that be were like, listen, this doesn't typically happen. Usually we re-sign guys 6 months out, but
Mm-hmm.
like the talent relations at the time, I guess, let things slip or weren't as into re-upping NXT guys contracts is the only explanation I could give. I really don't know, but
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I had at least maybe 6 months to a year left. It was a real surprise to me knowing that it was coming up in December. Pleasant
Crazy.
surprise. Just with the landscape and everything. Like it
Uh-huh.
was really kind of a blessing that I was given the opportunity to make my own decision and to have like I could stay, I can go. It wasn't made up for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Like I
Yeah.
feel for people who get released and everything, and that happens way more than it should.
I
It's
know.
awful. I was just grateful that I was, in a position to where I can kind of look at the landscape and see what opportunities were
Mhm.
out there. And luckily for me, AEW found a place, and I was able to jump ship, as it were.
Yeah, it is really cool because it's like, I mean, you look at your time at NXT and I mean, you really got to do it all. And for you to be able to leave on your own terms, and I'm sure you left in good graces and whatnot,
Sure.
that now for you to be able to go and be like, hey, cool, I did all of the things there. Now let's pivot. Let's go over here and do this thing with all of your buddies. Like,
I know.
it's nuts.
That was a huge selling point too. Like the AEW locker room is full of the guys that I came up with in this business that I've been
Yeah.
friends with for years. And there was a lot of that in NXT too, but it seemed like every couple of weeks you'd look around at the locker room just getting decimated. And it's
Yeah,
like
I
that was
know.
just not a very good environment, I guess, at that time. And I just wanted to go follow my heart and go where I'm going to be happy and go where I'm going to be utilized. Like I
Yeah.
felt, um, to stay with WWE was going to be to stay with NXT, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, at this point, after 4.5 years, you don't really have a spot for Kyle O'Reilly on the main roster. I got the vibe that there wasn't going to be a spot for me up there, and
So
rather than just kind of
bizarre. So it's so
tread
like
water.
it's weird because I mean I feel like I keep having these conversations and it's with guys like you, with guys like Adam Cole, like these guys that are those tippy top. These are the guys that you've all been investing your time in to put the company on the shoulders of, and yet we're not. There's no space for them. What?
Yeah, it's
Like
just
it's
different
just odd.
philosophies, I guess.
Yeah.
Different,
Yeah.
different directions and different ideas, and doesn't mean that one way is better than the other or one idea is going to make more money than the other. It's just
Well,
that's just
I
how
mean,
business goes,
yeah.
right?
You're right. No,
I'm
you're
just so
right.
diplomatic about all this stuff, and I just want everybody to do well, and I want
For
there to be
sure.
jobs in wrestling, and I want people to
Yeah.
be able to go out and like there's such a huge wrestling boom right now, from independents to national companies to
Yeah.
whoever knows what's going to pop up next. I'm sure there'll be something great. And so it's just cool to see all the guys and girls that love this business have an opportunity to get paid, whether it's at
For
that top
sure.
level or at a lower level.
Yeah. I was actually talking about this earlier today. I'm like, man, there is so much talent that are free agents right now, or just amongst all of the other promotions and whatnot, that like legit another promotion could like pop up. It's
Absolutely.
like it's
Right.
nuts.
I
Yeah.
know.
You can imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine Hunter just says, screw this, and he just goes and does his own thing.
Oh my God. And it's crazy
Fantasy
because it's
booking
not
over here.
outside the realm of possibilities at
I
this point. Like
know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We live in a world where Shane McMahon's getting released. I mean, everything's
Yeah.
possible, right? It's
Is
it's
that
all
legit?
I don't know. I feel like the phrasing on that is probably not legit. I'm sure he's still, I don't know, he must be doing something within the company,
Yeah.
maybe just not on the
Right.
talent side. I don't
Like
I
you're
have
not
no
allowed at
idea.
Thanksgiving anymore either. Like,
Well, you know what? Who knows? Who knows over
yeah.
there what's going on? It's crazy. Okay, so what were the conversations that you were having while you were still at NXT, figuring out what you were going to do to make this move over to AEW?
Everybody was really supportive. Like at the time, Hunter was off with his health issues, so I hadn't had a chance to
Yeah.
really see or talk with him. But Sean had been super supportive in just, you got to go where your heart leads you. And they understand that. And I
Yeah.
think they could tell too, like, as much as we want you here, Kyle, we also want you to be successful. And Kyle O'Reilly as a character on NXT might not be super successful right now. And that's cool. I mean, I'm happy to help guys grow. And
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready at the point in my career where I was going to be a glorified coach, where I was going to be
Sure.
just training people. And I'm sure I would have still had a spot on TV to some degree, but I wanted to go where the getting was good. And
Hell yeah.
AEW definitely has a lot of guys that I'd really love to work with, and a lot of tag teams I love to work. And my tag partner is in AEW for one,
I
and Adam
know. Oh my
Cole's there
God.
for one of my
How
best
cool
friends.
was that for you to like have that happen on TV the way that it
Oh,
did?
so cool. And like they played our old theme song from Red
Yes.
Dragon, from
So
Ring of
cool.
Honor in New Japan. So that was really
Mhm.
cool too. And that's kind of gave me like, okay, well, there's definitely got to be a spot for me there. If they're having Bobby come out to this song and they're
Yeah.
talking about his tag teams like past, and so I figured maybe there was a shot there. And
Wait, you had not even had conversations yet
no,
while this was sort of the narrative on television already.
right.
Wow.
No, I hadn't. Yeah, which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And it didn't really come, like a deal didn't really get figured out until like the day before my debut either.
Oh,
So it's
shit.
just crazy how fast things kind of happen in this business, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as I was like, I do most of my deep research on wikipedia.org. And while I'm on there, I'm like, just, you go, I mean, especially like somebody's like wrestling Wikipedia is like, they were here and here and this tag team and da 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 and this promotion and blah blah blah. You have worked with everybody.
Yeah, I've had a lot of tag partners.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's
Who do
been
you
great.
still want to work with? I mean, when you're looking at the roster of AEW and whether it's guys you have already worked with and you want to work with maybe this newer version of them,
Yeah.
or guys that you've not been able to tangle it up with.
Well, I broke in 2005, and at the time, Bryan Danielson was the Ring of Honor champion and was just on this legendary run. And he was coming up to BC to work quite a bit because he was still living in Washington at the time. And so I got to, chat with him and train with him a little bit here and there, but I never had a chance to wrestle Bryan. And he's a guy that I've literally wanted to wrestle my entire career. And we've sort of been like ships passing in the night. Like once I kind of leveled up to go to that next phase of my career, he was moving on to the next phase of his career.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. And so now I'm, not to say that I left NXT to hopefully wrestle Bryan Danielson, but you got to go where the getting's good. And I felt there was a chance maybe I could work this guy one day. Like it's so not like, I don't want to get too much into this like it's kind of a private conversation that I had with Regal. So I was talking with Regal before leaving NXT, and I'd mentioned this to him. Like, I don't want to seem like that guy that just wants to go somewhere to wrestle a guy, but he was like, no, I get it. Like when I left Britain, I just wanted to wrestle Ric Flair. I was like, really? Like, that's why you came to America? Yeah, but he was in WWF at the time, and I came to WCW, and then he came over to WCW, and I got to wrestle Ric Flair. I was like, oh, that's wild. Like, that's such a cool little story. I hope he doesn't mind me sharing on the sessions, but, so I really hope that I get a chance to wrestle Bryan. And, there's a ton of young talent there that I think my style would mesh with really well. A guy like Daniel Garcia and Lee Moriarty, like these guys that have a similar philosophy as myself in the way they like to present their style of wrestling. And I think that's really cool. And that's what's so cool about AEW. There is such a wealth of talent and a wealth of different styles. And it's just, I'm so excited to get back in there, and whether it's tag or singles, just to tear it up and do what I think I do best. And that's just shut up and wrestle.